Cecil Global and African Diaspora News Channel presents the Ghana Luxury Property Tour. It will be a 8-day tour coming to you starting October 1 through October 8, 2023. Now, you enjoy a 5-star stay at a hotel, the finest properties in Ghana. You connect with industry professionals. You will also visit cultural landmarks, have a meet and greet with the team, and so much more. Make sure that you go to the description box below and hit that link to sign up. So the Republicans in Georgia would like to give a statue to Clarence Thomas. Now, in the black community, most people would not be in support of that. But I want you to hear what one brother said about this on the State House floor.
I know it's very, very sensitive to talk about race in this body, but anytime that we have a legislation proposing to place a statue of Clarence Thomas on this grounds, we cannot avoid that conversation, so I'm not going to avoid it either. In the black community, we have an expression, and I don't want to use this label too deeply here because I'm just trying to tell you what we have in the African American community. When we talk about a person of color that goes back historically to the days of slavery and that person betraying his own community, we have a term in the black community. That term that we use is called Uncle Tom. And Uncle Tom is either a fictional or non-fictional character. I don't really know the origin of Uncle Tom, but it talks about a person who back during the days of slavery sold his soul to the slave masters. That's the story, the fictitious of the story of an Uncle Tom. So when we think about a person in the black community who's accomplished, but yet policies seek to subvert, some may even say suppress, the achievements and accomplishments of people of color, I couldn't help but to think about that term in expressing my dissatisfaction with this particular legislation. Folks, as I said last year, y'all just don't get it. And I don't expect people of non-color to get the sensitivity that we feel about a person of color whose policies and practices and decisions and votes that we've rallied and fought against.
Now, the only thing that I have to correct with our brother is that Uncle Tom's Cabin is really about Josiah Henson. Josiah Henson was not a sellout. He was a great man. He was an honorable man. And you can research Josiah Henson and you'll see for yourself. So using the term Uncle Tom, I would not use that. I would use the term sellout. That's what I would use. I would use the term raccoon. I would use the term bootlicking Sambo. I would call him all kind of other names, but I wouldn't call him Uncle Tom. Okay? Now, Clarence Thomas solidified his legacy with black people. He wanted to serve the white supremacists. He wanted to make sure he's in league with them. That's his choice. When you get in league with the white supremacists against your own people, then your legacy is going to be trash. And why do you expect your own people to want to see a statue of you when you did things that was against the black community? It's not about his politics. It's not to say that, oh, he's wrong for being a Republican. No, that's not even the issue. The issue is you can be a Republican all day long. You could be a Democrat. You could be an independent. You could be whatever. Just as long as when it's time to stand up for your people, you're there. You put aside politics when it comes to standing up for the people. And if Clarence Thomas was always there standing up for the community, and we seen Clarence Thomas out there, standing up for the people in the 92 LA uprising. If we seen Clarence Thomas out there speaking against mass incarceration of black men. If we seen Clarence Thomas out there talking about Trayvon Martin and George Floyd and all the different. Now, of course, he did make a statement about George Floyd because that was just you couldn't help it. I mean, even the worst of the worst made a statement about that. But I'm actually talking about being out there with the community, doing different things in the community all over these years. Nobody would have had a problem with Clarence Thomas getting a statue. They would have no problem with it at all. Your legacy means everything, brothers, sisters. You don't want to pass away and you just did a lot of dirt against your own. If these folks want to put a statue of you, you wasn't doing right by the community. You ever seen these folks talking about putting up a statue of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad somewhere? They don't talk about that, do they? Or where's the statues of a lot of our greats? They can put statues up, they don't want to. But Clarence Thomas. And nobody in the black community is not even asking for that. Nobody's asking.
So when we think about a person in the black community who's accomplished, but yet policies seek to subvert, some may even say suppress, the achievements and accomplishments of people of color, I couldn't help but to think about that term in expressing my dissatisfaction with this particular legislation.
But Clarence Thomas gets upset when he is included in certain things. For instance, he was upset that he wasn't included in the, African American History Museum, the one in DC. He was upset about that too. Why would you be put in there, even though you could have been put in there, but you messed off your legacy so bad that nobody wants to put you in there? They don't want to see you, bruh. Change your life. Do something where the black community could halfway be proud of you. Then maybe you could fix some of your legacy somewhere. But let me know what y'all think about this with this man here, because like I said, nobody respects Clarence Thomas, and he did that to himself.